Hi, everyone. I'm Marianne Hess. I'm someone who grew up running through the cornfields of Iowa as her playground. And I saw my dad plowing this deep, rich, black earth for the planting of the crops. And afterward, I'd go walk in the fields with these big black clods, and I could just feel the energy of Mother Earth just rising up. It was just amazing. Even today, when I remember those things, I can feel the energy of the earth just really teaming up from the ground, ready to nourish us as it would grow the seeds into crops. We had huge vegetable gardens. We butchered our own cattle and pigs and chickens. We had fresh fruit trees. We would go out and pick apples and cherries. We had grapevines. So we had access to this amazing nutrition that was nourishing us. And of course, the bounty of all of that we would preserve for the winter months. So we always have this wonderful nutrition running through our systems. And today, when I go to the grocery store, I'm very sad because I go to the produce section, and even in the organics portions of the produce section, we can't get that kind of nutrition. I look at tomatoes, for example. Oftentimes they look pale. Sometimes they were grown in hot houses. And even if you can find one that looks more red, you get it home and it just doesn't have the flavor of that garden fresh tomato. So the days of the family farm are gone. And then I'm so saddened to learn that 75% of our food supply is affected by glyphosate, that weed killer that got introduced in 1974 in Roundup. And it's the active ingredient in pesticides all over the world. We can't wash it off. We can't cook it out. It's so pervasive in our air and our soil and our water, and our bodies are paying this huge price for ingesting this food. Our gut linings are being destroyed by this toxic, cancer-causing pesticide. And I found out recently that about 95% of the people in the United States have this in their body. How scary is that? You know, our guts are kind of like our second brain. That's sometimes referred to as our second brain. So it's there to help us absorb those nutrients into our cells to nourish our bodies and help us have those hormones that balance us and help our immune systems respond to the toxins and the viruses and the bacteria, which we really need right now with all the craziness going on in the world with COVID and the stress, the racial tensions, and now the election in the US, all of that happening. Our immune systems are really under attack like never before. And then you add to that that our soil's been stripped of those nutrients. Even when we try to eat organic, we can't get that nutrition into our bodies. So I have found a resource that will get rid of the glyphosate, provide an inexhaustible supply of foods that are organic, non-GMO, that have the purity that I experienced as I was growing up. And all this is available in my organic online superfood superstores with foods that reset, revitalize, optimize your health. Plus, during these uncertain times, this provides a very simple way to have you have your own superfood superstore and create an additional stream of income that is sustainable no matter what goes on this planet. So before I talk a little bit more about how you can have your own superfood superstore, I want to tell you just a little bit more about me. I started my professional career as a business education teacher in high schools, and shortly thereafter became a vocational coordinator. I loved what I was doing. I loved working with the students. We would do fundraising. We would go to competitions throughout the country. They were only in school in the mornings, and then the afternoon they were on their jobs for their training. And I loved all of that, except for the administration. I was one of those people who was always in the principal's office, it seemed like, fighting for what my students needed. And the final straw was where I laid out my program for the year to the principal, And I had all the paperwork, everything lined up. And I said, and I have to let you know, one of my girls is pregnant. I have an employer who's willing to take her on. And everything is all solved. And I thought his head was going to explode. He's like, we can't have that. How would it look? This can't be. And he was like, "Brr." I'm like, excuse me, but who needs a job more than a single mom? And I fought him. I fought him to the school board and the whole thing. He didn't like it, but I didn't care. And at one point, he looked me in the eye and he said, it doesn't matter what you do in your classroom, and it doesn't matter what you do in your programs. The only thing that matters in my high school is PR. And I looked at him in disbelief, like, what planet are you from? Why are you even in this industry? And that was it. I resigned after that term. About that same time, my marriage exploded. I left Iowa. I went to Tucson, Arizona, and said, I'm going to start a new life. And one day my new life started when I got out of bed and I couldn't stand up. I had to crawl. My body was shutting down from all the stress, all the bad habits, and all of the, what I'm going to call lack of awareness that I had at that point in time. It's like the universe just slapped me to the ground and said, you either listen up or you leave the planet. And I'm like, okay, I'm listening. Luckily, I had done networking. There was a lady I had met from California. She was in Arizona to help her son heal, and she was using kinesiology. Western medicine didn't know what to do with me. So I'm unmuting myself again now. So for the next 5 years, she would muscle test me morning, noon, and night, and sometimes even in between at health food stores, asking my body what it needed, asking my organs, what do you need? So with trial and error and the muscle testing, that's the reason I'm alive today. And during that 5 years, I quit smoking, I quit drinking, I quit doing drugs, and I started studying nutrition so that I wasn't trying to live on caffeine. I became a personal fitness trainer, so I wasn't maniacally exercising, trying to put my body into a certain shape. And I moved to California with her and her family to help her with her business. She was helping me with my health. I was helping her with her business because I couldn't hold a job. I had to sleep morning and afternoon. So when I was in California, I was introduced to energetic healing. Changed my life. And I still use energetic healing and techniques and all of those types of things as I keep learning and growing and becoming more aware with all of my work with women throughout the globe today. Well, after the 5 years, I came back finally to homeostasis, fell in love with a screenplay writer, which was not my best decision, but he found out that I was from Fairfield, Iowa. Well, nobody was born in Fairfield, Iowa. I said, well, I was. Oh my gosh, it's a sign. We have to go. Maharishi Mahesh Yogi's University is there. We've got to go. I'm like, okay. So back to my hometown I went, never dreaming I would ever be back there again. But the cool thing was, because Maharishi's University is there, it's a global community of 10,000 people in the middle of the cornfield. So everything comes through there. Every new healing technique, every new business opportunity, every new technology, it comes through there. It's like a little LA but without the traffic. So you can find anything you want, but it may not be talked about openly, which is a whole other story. But anyway, so I was able to continue my education with energetic healing and techniques and all of that. Plus I had landed in this mecca, this haven of organic, non-GMO eating people who had greenhouses growing organic veggies in the winter, so we always had organic. So while I was learning all these energetic things and whatever, I was introduced to my own online superfood superstore. And it was like I had come full circle, you know, because I grew up like a few miles north of Fairfield on this farm where I had access to all these fruits and vegetables and this wonderful nutrition. And then I was introduced to the organic superfood superstore, where I had access to these, it's like rainbow of raw, wonderful superfoods that were nourishing me in the same way with the purity that I had experienced growing up. So the superfoods transformed my life yet again. A few years ago, it's been a few years ago now, when I was involved initially, I did something called a 10-day transformation. They called it that then. And I lost 7 pounds in 10 days. I felt tremendous. I had all this energy. So I kept going. I did another one. And because I'm postmenopausal, I have this challenge with belly fat, which just bugs me, because I used to be a personal trainer and I used to know how to, work with all of that. And I couldn't get it to go. But transformation upon transformation, it melted away. I felt like I was in my 20s again. It's like, oh, wow, I can wear these clothes again. I'm so happy about this. And then another big thing for me was that it curbed my craving for chocolate. I'm a chocoholic. I can be counted on wherever I am to know exactly where the best source of dark chocolate is, no matter what. But now I don't have to have dark chocolate every day. I can choose when I want to have it. But I'm out jonesing like, I gotta go get it, I gotta go get it. I can choose. So it brought me back into more control of my life, and with all the energetic practices and my belief that we need to be in a high vibrational frequency, these superfoods can help our body stay clean and quote unquote lighter, so that we can hold those high vibrational frequencies that are so important for us to really hold during this unusual time we're in, so that we can emerge from this doing what our soul called us to do. So I believe that you deserve to have an inexhaustible supply of food and nutrients that give your body what it needs at the cellular level to have optimum health. And I believe you deserve to get rid of that glyphosate that's destroying your gut health. It's hampering your immune system. And have that way to really have your body be clean on the inside. Like it's almost like an internal green shower for me, so that I can hold those high vibrational frequencies, and so can you. That will help you weather this time that we're in, staying above the fray, so that we can give our gifts fully at the end of all of this. And you deserve a way to have a system, foods, and some way to have sustainable income, no matter what's going on this planet. And it's as simple as inviting somebody to shop at your online superfood superstore and helping them to have their own online superfood superstore. So if you want to know how to have your own superstore that includes these green foods that regenerate, they repair, they rebuild your body at the cellular level, private message me for more information. And I encourage you to act now to secure your financial future and assure that you are going to have full health and vitality until the day you're just not here. It's possible, it's doable for anyone. So I invite you to reach out to me today. Start falling in love with feeling good and receiving more abundance in all areas of your life. Thank you for your kind attention. Peace and blessings.